and welcome to the latest handpicked by Jamie, me being Jamie and the month being June. Now I know we're only middle of the way through the year, but it's time to celebrate Christmas, and I know that sounds bonkers, and if you're a non-crafter happening to catch this while somebody else who's crafty is watching it, you're probably thinking I'm slightly insane. But we all know Christmas in the craft world starts in June, and we have for you a very, very special handpicked buy bundle. Now, today's bundle is actually worth, if you was to go and buy it, the recommended retail price for this is £57.69, and you can buy all of the goodies I'm going to show you for just £30. So we're not far off half price. Now, if you're new to us at Craftmania, you might not know this already, but if you're shopping within the UK, your P&P is completely free. So there's no hidden postage charges on that. If you do wish to shop with us internationally, that's no problem either. Just pop onto the website and check out how the international shipping works. But I assure you we try and keep that as cheap as we possibly can for you. So even that isn't our trick of getting the money out of you. We've got a bargain, we want to give it to you. So in your bundle, you may be wondering what you're going to receive. First of all, 2 Cosmic Shimmer Sparkle Texture Pastes. We have red, we have green. I mentioned Christmas, didn't I? Colours, just in case you're collecting these, are apple red and holly green. There are quite a collection to these. These are a lovely, lovely texture base. They're chocked full of one size particle of glitter. They're also, and I've been told this on good authority, they have sort of a way in them, or a sort of technology that's put into them that they won't bleed under your stencils. So this, especially if you're starting out with texture paste, is a really good one to try with. So do give this a go. But of course, you're going to get 2 colours in your bundle. Next up, we have for you some metallic baker's twine. Now this is sort of an ivory colour twine, and then the top half of it, because you might not be able to see, has a gold metallic thread sort of woven around it. The bottom one has a silver metallic thread woven around it. Perfect for Christmas. We're going to hang all of our decorations, our baubles, our bits and bobs like that with these. I use them for them little subtle bows, pieces like that. They're going to work really well for you. There's 10 metres in there, 5 metres of each. We then have a mini stencil. Now these are really cute because you can use them on their own as the focal point to your card or your page or whatever you're creating, or you can of course tile, sort of stamp or colour through them and use them in that way as well. And we're actually going to be looking at a little bit towards that idea on one of the demos we're going to do today's little video for you. On top of that, we have your Haley die. Now this is a pretty cool die. It's designed by Sue Wilson. It has quite a few different layers to it. So if you want to be cutting out your apertures and then putting these pieces inside, you can do. If you want a paper piece with these, really easy to do, especially the holly. If you like using your 3D accents, or if you've got some of the Twinkles glitter glue, or maybe you want to go OTT with the gems, then the holly placements are there ready for you to go in and decorate them as well. You then have these little decorative pieces that can either be used in the middle, or you can use them as separate tiles, which can be quite good fun to build up little borders and bits with them. And this one's also really good for different folding techniques and bits like that, because it's of course symmetrical, so that comes in quite handy. Moving on into our collection now, a non-Christmas essential, which is going to come in all year round, is a really lovely embossing folder. We told you last month that we would be giving you the Radiant Rings embossing folder in this month's kit, and we actually show you some of the highlights of what you could create with this on last month's kit. Last month's kit actually sold out very, very, very quickly, and we couldn't get any more of them in. And we do warn you with these bundles, these are things we've bought together and we can't always repeat them. So if you do see a kit you like the look of, do get it as quick as you can. We literally sold out, I think, about the 6th or 7th of last month. I know it was quite early on and sort of struggled all month trying to deal with all your requests to get more, and sadly we just cannot. So do get it while we've got it. So yeah, Radiant Rings, and do go back and watch the video though so you can see what we did with it on the cards in that bundle, so you can see them as well. Then we have one of our woodware stamps. Now this is our modern seasonal sentiments. Now I really like these because they've been designed with different fonts. You've got the really bold text on them as well, which is really cool. And you've also got a vertical Happy Christmas. Now these are really rare. We don't tend to see many vertical stamps. You don't tend to be able to get, especially Christmas ones. So being able to have that and all your matching pieces to do your crackers with, or to go on your tags, to go on your cards, to go on your scrapbooking, Really, really cool. Some of these, just to read them out for you, says, "We've loved this Christmas," which is quite nice to put on the back of your card. You've got "Season's greetings, wishing you a happy new year, Noel, celebrate the season, warm wishes, merry and bright, ho," which of course makes a really lovely ho 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 background, really cool to do. "Have a happy Christmas," and then of course a vertical "Happy Christmas." So quite a few little stamps in there for you to use, either to make into backgrounds or, as I say, use individually. Then we have one of Lisa's Horton tile dies. Now these are really cool because you actually get 8 different dies in here, and they're all set into different pieces, and I've actually bought one in so I can show you. If I give you a little look at this one, you have your outside cutting die, which of course means, once again, we can cut our apertures if we wish to, or we can use this to do back plates. We then have our top Happy Christmas. So we have a word die which will actually stay in your cardstock. There's no outside die to this. If you want to cut that in as an aperture, absolutely fine to do so. If you wish to cut it out, or you wish to do a backing plate to go behind it, then you have the matching size die, and that is going to fit inside that circle. So if you wanted to cut your wording out of one colour, your backing plate in another, and then the very backing back plate in another colour, if you see where I'm going with this, that's absolutely fine to do so. You then have 2 little quarter pieces. Now we have a swirly one and we have a poinsettia one. Now, just like the wording, these don't have outside cutting blades on them. So if you do wish to tile cut these, you can do. These are also really nice as well if you wish to do them in like the corner of your card instead. Instead of thinking about using them just for the focals, they're going to work really nice as corner elements. With that in mind, once again, you have your backing piece to that, or your backing die. So if you wish to cut that out as a separate item, you can do, or if you wish to cut a plate to go beneath it, then you can do that as well. These will also fit perfectly back into this circle. So if you wanted to just leave the wording out and do all poinsettias going round, you could do, or you could do all swirls, or you can keep it as it comes to you and do one of each, and then that way that will make up into your circle too. So many options with this one. Really fun to play with, and nice to have them elements that you can use individually as well as together. So that's your Lisa Horton die. And then we give you one little mini stencil, but we give you 2 pots of the paste. So we really need to give you more stencils, don't we? So we have gone to our lovely Phil Martin stencil. This is your Cascading Holly. It's an 8x8 stencil. Again, really good to go over with your texture paste. We can use these with our inks, obviously, glossy glazes. We can even, and I didn't get a chance to turn this into anything at all actually, I just made it as a background. Pixie sparkles over the top of this one, looks really beautiful. Whether you're using the positive, or if you wish to take a print from the negative and use it as a background, that's going to work really well for you too. So do think of it as more than just with the texture base. The mini one also embosses quite nicely. So I've done this on mirror card just so you can see how it's embossing. But if you've got a tan matte in your machine and you wish to emboss it to give you some depth, then that's going to work really well for you as well. I did try with the Holly one, but in my machine it didn't make too much of a difference. But I did really like the way that the small folder or small stencil came out. So do bear that one in mind. So just to recap, we have your 8x8 stencil, we have your Lisa Horton Christmas die, we've got your woodware stamps, we have your Sue Wilson Haley die, we then have our jute or baker's twine, I should say, sorry. You've then got your Radiant Rings embossing folder as well. I'm running out of hands, there's too much in this bundle. We then have your mini little stencil, and to top it off, we have your 2 colours of texture paste. And all of that should add up to £57.69. And because of it's a handpicked by Jamie bundle, it's only £30. Now you know what to do, jump straight onto the Craftmania website. You will see at the top it says handpicked by Jamie. If you click on there, you can see all of the bundles that we have left in stock throughout the year. We release one on the 1st of every month. So as I said, last month's is sold out, but the June one is just launching. So you can certainly get hold of this one. And I do believe we've got a couple of the months left over in stock as well, so you might want to watch the videos for them, see what inspiration's about for that too. If you're new to these completely, you might not know this, but we also have a wonderful design team at Craftmania who actually go away and do some samples for us, and then they release them throughout the month. And you can find them either on the Jamie's blog tab on our website, or if you head on to our closed Facebook group, which is Create with Craftmania and Jamie Rodgers, you can see lots of inspiration shared on them, not only by the design team, but other crafters like yourself who have also got hold of the bundle and would like to share with us what they've been creating. So it's a really nice community that actually, and if you haven't joined the group, do go have a little look. We also do different competitions, and it's also a really good place for you to ask us questions, or all of us as crafty experts. There's a few of us in there who really try to help you. So if you've got any technical questions about any Cosmic Shimmer products or Creative Expressions products, or any of the items that we stock at Craftmania, and you'd like some answers, do pop on there and have a little chat with us. It's just a really nice friendly community, so do have a little look on there. Now, I've shown you all of the goodies you're going to get in your bundle. Let's show you some inspiration, shall we? Because I've gone ahead and made some cards for these, and I like to share with you a few ideas of what I've been creating. So this one, of course, is using our Hayley die in the middle. It's using my brand new in and out dies to actually create the circle hanging area and frame. And I've also put the Hayley die on the reverse as well. We have the Lisa Horton sliced circles on the edges. We have our text in the middle from one of our woodware stamps, Radiant Rings embossing folder in the background. Now this card is actually going to be our mid-month demo. Once again, if you're new, about halfway through the month. Last month it was a little bit late because I lost the video, apologies. But about midway through the month, we will share with you another demo to give you a bit more inspiration and help you out along the way. So this is the one that we will be doing about halfway through the month. So keep an eye once again on our YouTube and Facebook for that to appear. But talking of our in and outs and our Hayleys, why not an in and out die with a 3D Hayley in the middle of it? This is really easy to do. I said to you earlier that our Hayley die is symmetrical. So when it comes to doing our folding and turning these into hanging baubles, whether to go on your cards or in your albums or on your trees even, why not get a bit more dimension going on with these? And they will fold down relatively flat. So, you know, if you're worried about not necessarily posting, but you want to put it into a box, that's not the end of the world. They can then just 3D it at the other end as well. This one has our falling snow background in the background, funny enough, but it's not in this bundle, but it is of course available on the website. And we have our vertical Happy Christmas stamp going down the side there just to complete this card. But it's quite an easy one to do and quite fun, and of course is using our circles from our in and outs collection. Moving on to some more inspiration. So I mentioned our Ho 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 as a background. Here I've just gone for it being my major focal point. I've also got warm wishes beneath it. I've done my green texture paste through my stencil down the side here. And as you can see, got carried away a little bit with red gems for the holly. So that's a really good way to use up our gems. You'll find lots of value gems on our website if you're looking at that and thinking, I can't afford all them gems. We also do really cool little glittery ones, which are the gold ones. You'll find them on the website as well in 2 different sizes and lots of different colours. But real simple card to do, but I felt that was quite good fun, quite quirky. Then if you prefer something a bit more vintage, this is the same holly background done with some distress ink, similar to what we're going to be looking at today. And then on the front here, we've used the texture paste for the mini stencil. We've used our banner punch we'll be talking about shortly. And I've also used my sentiment stamps on the top there too, just to make that quite simple card. Then we have another one with our Lisa Horton designs, and this time I wanted to leave them cut into the cardstock so you could see how that was going to work. I've used the circle, the outer circle, to cut out the aperture and then sunk in the silver mirror card beneath it, just with the cutouts inside that one. If you'd like to take your sentiment stamps and build up your backgrounds, I always think that's quite a fun way to do it, especially if you're struggling to get backgrounds to match necessarily what you've got going on in the front. So this time I've stamped the word in, I've inked over the top, I've used another sentiment down the bottom there, and then of course our texture paste for our mini stencil, and that lovely banner punch we'll be talking about shortly. On to our next one. This time we have gone very, very mad again with our gems, and we're using the green texture paste through the stencil, cut out the middle with that same outside die, and then built up the middle pieces as well. So we've got the whole Lisa Horton set in here, and then a couple of extra circle dies to make the apertures. Lots of red little gems sunk into the mirror card as well to set them gems going off. Give us a bit more sparkle. You never have too much sparkle at Christmas, can you? Now that Hayley die, that's a really cool one for building up your backgrounds with. So I stuck my Hayley die onto a sheet and put glitter through all of the areas that are left exposed on one of our self-adhesive sheets, and added on lots of little gems as well to the Hayley die. Another sort of very clean and simple card this time. flying through these because I want to share with you a few more bits as well. So this one is again using one of our circle dies to cut out from our embossing folder, sorry not our embossing folder, our holly stencil with the green texture paste. Lots of little berries again, radiant rings embossing folder in the background, word stamp on the front there. Very quick, very simple. And then our last two cards that I wanted to talk to you about are ones I'm actually going to demo for you, just to give you a little bit more inspiration of how you could get creative with this bundle. So this is the first card that we're going to be having a little look at. And we're going to go all blue, very modern Christmas style, and see what we can create. So for this one to begin with, I'm going to take a sheet of white card and I'm going to bring in, if I can find it, let me just dig it out. It's all mess under the counter. Looks very clean and tidy on the top, well it did before we began. Underneath, filthy. So I've got a piece of white card and I'm going to use my Vasson Creative magnetic workstation. I'm going to pop some magnets on the corner. You don't have to use one of these, obviously you can tape it down if you wish. We'll be doing that in the next demo, but it's nice for you to see different tools because you might not have seen these, and these are really good fun. We do two types. We do a Ranger one by Wendy Becky and we do the Vasson Creative one as well. And then all I'm going to do is bring in some distress inks. So I'm working with chipped sapphire and I'm going to use one of our blending brushes. These again, you'll find them on the website. They come in lots of different sizes, but they're so super good for these stencils, especially the little detail bits. And I'm just taking the blending brush and taking the colour straight over the top. I'm sure you've seen this 1,000 times, but it's just nice for you to be able to see that you can do that style of effect with these stencils. Ink wise, as I say, I'm using chipped sapphire distress inks, but this could be your colour clouds, your Wendy Becky make art inks, it could be oxides, the list just goes on really. And as I showed you with that little sample earlier, these are really lovely if you was to add your pixie sparkles over the top of them too, or your pixie powders, any of them sort of effects. Now I want quite a solid effect, so I'm going quite heavy with my inks. If you prefer it to look a bit more subtle, then that's absolutely fine, of course. And we'll do half of that one in the ink, and then we're going to do the other half in the texture paste, simply because I'm not planning on showing you the texture paste in this little demo or in this little video, and I really want you to see how fun that is too. So we're going to go for red holly this time because I've picked up the red one. I'm going to use the apple red. I'm just going to take my palette knife, I'm going to take the product out, and I'm going to go straight over the top of the stencil. And this really should be as simple as you buttering toast. To be honest, this shouldn't be complicated at all. The stencil's a really nice one to work with, so that shouldn't be an issue either. It's 8 by 8, which is quite a nice size, and I feel you could match this one up quite nicely if you did want to do larger areas. So maybe you're a scrapbooker and you're looking at this thinking, well, could I use it for my 12 by 12 pages? I can't see why you couldn't. If you would like to use this for your Christmas decorations, or maybe you're going to do some framed work, or maybe you're going to do some little like 3D photo frames, bits like that, this could be a really nice background to work in those. And I'm just going to carry on popping our paste through. Now they always say when you do this, try and work in one direction. Before any of you burst into a song, I don't know any lyrics to One Direction songs actually off the top of my head, so I'm certainly not going to, not that I would anyway, because I want you to carry on watching, and if I start singing you're going to run for the hills. But if you can do it in one direction, it will help you to prevent any sort of going underneath your stencil in any places you don't want it to. So we'll take off our little magnets off the corners here, and we'll reveal our stenciled effect. Now obviously I need to pop this into some water because I've just put texture paste over it, but it's quite nice for you to see your texture paste has gone through perfectly, so has your ink, so whatever style you want to do with this, that stencil is going to work quite nicely. And I also wanted you to see how nicely that texture paste is going to look. Dry time, I would leave this to one side for about an hour, and then I would imagine it would be dry. So, you know, it depends on how much you put on, how thick you've applied it, what product you put it onto. They will also dry on acetates, glossy cards, mirror cards, bits like that. Just bear with them because they'll take a little bit longer. And of course, what room temperature you're in as well will make a difference. So play around, see how you get on, but one really fun way to use them. we'll put that to one side, and I'm going to bring in some of my layers. So I've already gone ahead and I've trimmed down some of my pieces so that you don't have to watch me do that bit. And I've gone for a 10 fold card for this design. And we're going to start off by using some silver mirror card as our base layer. Now, of course, if you need any cardstock, the website is absolutely chocker with mirror cards and textured cards, flat cards, all different sorts like that. So do go and have a little look. We carry the complete foundations colour range of card. If you haven't fell in love with foundations card already, they've just released about 8 new colours, I believe. Might have even been 10 recently. So there's quite a few new additions. There's sort of been a bit of a change in some of the ones we have had, and now there are new colours which are really yummy. I'm going to pop down a silver layer over the top of my dark blue. So we've gone white, silver, blue, silver. Then I'm going to take and put on my panel with my stenciling through. And then we're going to look at the Lisa Horton elements from that lovely die set that we have. So I've already gone ahead and done these 2 pieces, but I wanted to show you how we could use our back plate and our front piece so that we could put different colours on top of each other or behind each other. So I'm just going to go through and put some glue onto my wording. Now I'm using Cosmic Shimmer Dries Clear Glue. Again, you're going to find this on the website. I'm also using the ultra fine glue bottles by Woodware. These are a little amazing trick really, so that you get your glue roughly in the right places. This glue also dries clear, so if I do happen to get any go over the edge, it's not the end of the world, which is quite good because I can be quite messy. I'll put that down on top and smooth it out. Also, with you do get some, so I've got a little bit here on my mirror card. If you just tend to rub it, it tends to just go away, which is lovely, because some glues on mirror card will sort of tarnish them or take away the colours and bits like that. It's not something you tend to have to worry about with this one. So on top of that, with our little set, so if you want to use the circle on its own, you absolutely can. But there is also this little bauble hangy piece in there, and I wanted to use that because I thought it was really cool. So we're going to pop some glue onto the back of that, and we're going to place that onto the top of the circle so that we now have a hanging bauble element. And then we're going to bring in our pieces that we've been gluing. I'm going to add some foam tape to the back of the top one, and we're going to put that in place up there. Now, if you're not sure about your placements for these, do a dry run first. That won't hurt, but for speed, I don't mind if it's not perfect. I'm going to pop them on and see how we go. And then we're going to place in that one over this side. Now you will notice I've gone for 2 swirly edges instead of having the poinsettia, because I really like the way that the swirls complement the swirls that are going on in the Happy Christmas. But that's what Lisa's really designed it for, is to give you a lot of freedom. So if you did want to do all swirls, all poinsettias, or anything else, you absolutely can do. So I'm going to use some of my baker's twine, and we're going to go for the silver twine for this one. I'm just going to cut a piece off of here, and we're going to thread it through our top hangy piece. So I'm going to go through the top, if I can keep hold of both pieces, and then we are going to thread that through the loop and pull down so that we have our hang piece done. We can then remove our foam tape pieces on the reverse. So messy, aren't I? Let's just sweep them to the floor so you don't see just how messy I am in reality, because I am a messy crafter. And I promise you it's me who'll pick them up in a little while, so I don't win. And then we're going to go to the top part, and we're going to bring in some glue. And I'm just going to cheat and use a bit of glue gun here. Now, my lid is very short on this for some reason today. Oh, no, I'm not, because it doesn't seem to be on. I think I've pulled it out of the plug, I think, when I've moved my desk. So don't panic, we will do a bit of foam tape instead then. That'll work nicely. So we'll put some foam tape over the top to hold the threads in place. We'll then cut off the excess underneath it. And then I've already gone ahead and done a bow, because I like to have my bows ready done, because they take me a while to do. I'm going to stick our bow on the front there. And then I was planning on adding just a button with a glue gun to the top of it, and I've gone for a different button to what I had on the original one. And I was also going to show you these because these are really cool. These are our little sun gems. I'm forever going on about these. I absolutely love these. But they fit quite nicely over the top of buttons. So if you've got a button and you don't want to see the holes come through it, a little trick is to just add a bit of glue gun to the middle to build up that area on this button, for instance, and then put your pearl or your gem over the top of it. And then I was just going to glue gun that onto the top to complete that card. But I'll share with you the one that I've already done, slightly different button and slightly different gem. You'd find both of them on the Craftmania website if you like the look of the gems. Button wise, I'll be honest, I have a huge random button box and they're just out of the big random button box. But we do stock quite a few different buttons, so you can have a little look at them as well if you wish to. So let's move on and look at card number 2. So very similar to the last one, but this time I wanted to show you how you could be working with that lovely mini stencil. And we're also going to talk a little bit about our punch that we've got going on here for our banners. This is something you might not have seen before, but I really love these. My one has been thoroughly used and abused. It's getting quite old now. I've had it quite a few years, but you will find on the website we do 3 different versions of these, if I remember rightly, with different banners and tags on them, but they all work in the same way. You've got 3 different sizes, so this one's 1.5, 2 inches and 2.5, and then down on the front you might notice that there are little trays and your card will literally fit in between whichever tray size you're using. So pick the size card you want and send it through. When it gets to the end, that's when you're going to push down and punch your punch. If you do wish to use other sizes of card, that isn't the end of the world. Just have a look and turn over your punch and make sure that the piece you're using, whatever size it may be, is in the middle of the punch. So I'll put this one back in so you can see where it is, and then just pick where you need it to be. So as long as it's looking symmetrical each side, you can then punch it. So if you wish to do layers to go on top of these, that's going to work really nicely for you. So you've got them right increments if you don't want quite as much as a 1/2 inch sort of jump between them. If you wish to do double-ended pieces to make sort of signs with them, or if you wish to fold them down and put them under bows maybe, bits like that, that's going to work really well for you as well. For the month of June, this punch has got 15% off of it on the Craftmania website. So if you haven't got one of these already and you're looking at this thinking, oh, I really need to go get one of those, do go have a little look. There will be 15% off recommended retail price for you, so don't miss out on them as well. Now we're going to start off with our punched pieces. Now I have done 3 different size pieces already. I've done 1 in gold mirror card, I've done 1 in black card, and I've done 1 in coconut white. And all I'm going to use these for is to marry them up, stick them down and layer them up. Oh, a little bit of glue trying to escape there, and then we'll put that one on top there. And we have our 3 pieces. At this point, I would then stamp on it if I hadn't done so already, and then trim it on a guillotine so all 3 pieces are nice and flat and ready to go onto my card. Ever so simple to do, and just looks quite effective, doesn't it? Especially with the 3 different layers going on. So then moving on to the background of our card, well, as I said, we're going to use that lovely little mini stencil. So I'm going to bring back in my blending mat here, but we're not actually going to be using this to hold any more than our piece of card in place. So, well, we'll go for some white card. We'll put that under the top there, just so that magnetic ruler can hold that down for me. And then because of the stencil is a smaller stencil, it's a mini stencil, we're going to use some masking tape, not so much to hold the stencil in place, but so I can extend out to it and not worry about going over the edges. So we're going to go all the way around the sides here, putting these on. And we're going to bring back in some distress inks again for this one. We're going to go for a smaller blending tool, which is our Vatten Creative Tools. You'll find them on the website as well. And I believe they're on offer at the moment too. So if that's something you're looking to add into your collection, then it might be a good time to do that as well. And then we'll bring in our pads. So I'm going to start off with some Wild Honey. All these offers, thinking about it, all of our oxide inks and distress inks, pads that is, are on offer on the website at the moment. They're only $5.99. I think they're meant to be $7.99 if I remember rightly. It will tell you that on there. Never trust me for a price unless I've got it wrote down, because my memory is atrocious. But I do know they're on offer, and that offer will go on throughout June. So if you do wish to go ahead and stock up on your distress inks as well, this might be a really good time to go and do that. We're then going to add some fired brick over the top of this one. So we've gone for Wild Honey, then we're going to do some fired brick, And then we're going to also bring in some pine needles, and we're going to go over the top of that one, just in a few areas with the green. So we've got our sort of golden colour, our reds and our greens, and then we can lift that up and show you what we've created. Now, how easy was that, but how effective. And then, as I mentioned earlier, this one's so good for just saying, well, actually, we're going to pop that down over here, we're going to mask them areas back off, and we're going to repeat that process again. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, because my brush is a bit more dirty now, but I'm not worried about that. We'll go down straight away with our lovely wild honey. And then we can go back in. What did we do next? Red, I think, didn't we? So we'll do it. Let's try and stick to the same formula. A little bit of fired brick going around the edges. And then we'll bring in, lastly, some pine needles to go over the top. They do recommend you clean these in between uses, by the way. I tend to just wipe mine off on like a cloth in between them normally. But for speed, we're going to ignore all of the rules and just show you how you can build up your designs. If you do wish to do larger areas or big backgrounds, that's going to work really nicely for you. And I actually think this is such a pretty design stencil. There's so many holly bits in there. There's quite nice bits if you want to go in and add your pearls or your gems. You've got them perfect circles to add them to. Or if you've got some little star gems, you might want to highlight them as well. I just think that's a really lovely design. Again, this is another one that just needs washing, so I'll put that to one side for the second. And we'll take our panel out of the way and we'll bring in the pieces. Now, this is a super quick and simple card. We have gone for just basically a DL card. We're going to do a black layer of cardstock, leaving a wide frame. We're going to do some marigold over the top of it. Again, these are both available on the website. And then we're going to bring in our panel that we've just been doing some distressing on, or some stenciling. I'm going to place that down in the middle. And then we're going to bring in our lovely tag that we did. And if I can find, oh, here it is, right in front of me. We're going to add on our little Happy New Year tag with just some pieces of foam tape, just to 3D that slightly so it's off the card. And we're going to go up here, and I'll bring that out to the black edge and put that one on. Then on my original, I added just a few more of our glittery gems. These are the ones I mentioned you'll find on the website earlier. So if you do want to add a little bit more bling to that, that's going to work really nicely for you. And it's certainly available. But it just shows you with both stencils how we can do a bit of blending through them, how we can build them up. If I bring back one of the original cards as well, shows you the two different styles that we've done in today's video with your handpicked by Jamie bundle for June. And then if we run you through what's in your bundle one last time, just so you can see all of them components quickly. So in your bundle, you will be receiving two different pots of texture paste. You've got your red, you've got your green, and this is the sparkle texture paste. You're going to receive the mini stencil that we just spoke about. You're going to receive the metallic baker's twine that we used to hang the bauble on the first card. The Radiant Rings embossing folder. You're also going to be receiving the Hayley die set as well. On top of that, which will be shown, don't forget, in our mid-month demo, you've got your woodware stamps, which are just like the ones we used on that second card. You've got your Happy Christmas sliced circle die from Lisa Horton, and you've got your 8x8 embossing, sorry, please forgive me, 8x8 stencil by Phil Martin. And that all should add up to £57.69, but is yours for just £30 as part of the handpicked by Jamie bundle, which you can find on the Craftmania website. Now, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to pop them in the comments, and I will do my very best to answer them for you. Pictures of the cards that I shared with you throughout the video, they will be available on the website. They will also be on our Facebook group, which I mentioned earlier, Create with Craftmania and Jamie Rodgers. I'll make sure to share them at some point throughout the month in a little album. So if you do wish to go on there and save them, so you've got a bit of reference on how you can create with your kit and a few ideas, and they'll be there for you. Also, don't forget to keep an eye on the blog, where the Craftmania design team will be sharing ideas and inspiration throughout the month with this bundle to hopefully give you a few more ideas. As I mentioned earlier, our P&P is completely free every time you spend over £5 for the UK, and if you do wish to shop with us internationally, then do check out the website to see how that works. Not only can you order online, you can also shop in store at our store in Great Yarmouth, which is 6 Regent Street, Great Yarmouth. That's in Norfolk. If you've never heard of us before, in Norfolk in the UK, you can pop in store and actually look at your kit or purchase it there. Or if you prefer, you can give us a call, because not everybody likes to order online, not everyone can make it in store. You can give us a call anytime you wish between 9 AM and 7 PM 7 days a week, and Daphne will take your orders for you. The phone number is 01493 843 666. Thank you so much for watching today's little video. I really am looking forward to seeing you in the middle of the month when we will be doing our demo for this card here, and we'll be playing around with the in and out dies and showing you how those work as well. Look forward to seeing you then. Thanks for watching today. Bye for now.